Welcome back, everyone, to Just a Bit of Banter. I am George. I'm here with my co-hosts, Greg and Patrick. How you guys doing, man? On this Tuesday
Hello.
evening?
Hola.
Happy Tuesday. Happy August.
Yeah, I
I'm
know we're
glad.
finally in August. It's so nice. Summer is slowly winding down in the hot state of Arizona.
Hot.
And we actually got
Nice.
rain on my way to work this morning, which is very nice. It's a nice
It was
break.
so beautiful.
Bro, it was so nice. Such a nice break from the 115 BS that we've had
It's
so
the
far.
25th day in a row for you guys
know.
up there.
Terrible.
It's crazy. You know, I was driving today on the freeway and it was coming down pretty good. And my car was not able to get traction. So I was going like 45 and trying to accelerate to 50. My car's tires were just spinning.
Yeah.
It was quite the time.
Wild.
Man, I wish I would have got some rain down here, man. I didn't see no rain. I mean, I saw when we got.
That's because you're halfway to California, bro.
I'm like the opposite.
Out
We talking about you're
California
closer to
way.
me.
I hear they
Not
got some
close.
good internet out California way.
Yeah, for those little bit of background, we had to restart this 4 times because George couldn't get his internet sorted. But we made him get rid of that stupid Chelsea logo, and it seemed to help a lot. So here we
For
are.
the record, I was making a South Park reference.
Yeah, I had to upgrade my internet, man, to get that promoted from dial-up, man. But yeah, we're up and running now. So before we get started, do a quick little housekeeping. So we're trying to grow the channel here. We're trying to, if you want to follow us on YouTube, it's just Bit of Banter Pod. We're very active on YouTube. Now we're going to be going on. Our more recent one is Instagram. Same handle as Bit of Banter Pod. Then if you want, you can share, like, leave us comments to either of us. We can get to that. And then reach out to us on Twitter X. I'm pretty sure it's still called Tweet. So we can just X us. Don't X us out, but just tweet us moving forward. But yeah, use a hashtag banter on, so we can get all the highlights, all the stuff going on. Just trying to expand a little more. Give us a little thumbs up. What you like, what you don't like, what you want to see. If you want to jump on, give us a buzz, and maybe we'll get you on here. So, but yeah, man, if we can get right to it. Chelsea, going to recaps. Chelsea had Dortmund this week. We did draw at the last minute, so it was.
I know your pain, believe it or not.
No. Yeah, I mean, the way we played last week against them, the first half was kind of just going back and forth. The defense was not there. Offensively wasn't there. Freaking, we had our boy Christopher Nkoku. He was out the first half as a supposedly rumored that his knee injury. So no one really did bigs about it. Then come to find out, which was today or yesterday, saying that he just had surgery in his knee and he's gonna be out for 3 to 4 months. And my goodness, that's just a dagger on my chest.
Yeah, he's your huge goal scorer. He's your main goal contributor, isn't he?
He's right now, and then we got Nicholas Jackson, and Gallagher right now.
But Nicholas Jackson's a kid, isn't he? You think he's going to start Premier League games? Isn't he from your academy?
He's up there. I think he's got it. I think he'll be okay.
Well, I think Cole Palmer has got it too, but he's not going to start all of our Premier League games as a Mahrez replacement.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, he's down. But yeah, for freaking 3 to 4 months after his knee surgery. So that was just a dagger on it. So he was out the first half, and then offensively, the second half was not there. Just wasn't there. And come the 90th minute, the last minute, ended up tying the game. So at least we didn't get the loss. So we're still have we're undefeated, I guess you can say. So take that as leave it. But yeah, so we lost. I'm still a little heartbroken of Nkoku going down, and maybe the rumors talking about Caicedo, Moses from Brighton, now in talks now with on that. So, but yeah, man. So that's more on the other side. So, and I know Patrick, you had who'd you have this week? Or you had to bring
I had
the community shield.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I meant. Is I know you're pained about fucking losing a game in the last minute, last kick of the game, rolling into like a 1-1 draw. But I before we get into the community shield, like, how do you think you guys are going to handle? Because as far as I know, from what I saw in preseason, like your goal threats came from Christopher and Cuckoo, as he should. I mean, the kid's a baller. He really is. So hopefully, look, I don't wish injury on any player, but I will be honest. With the hype that you've been building this guy up and how excited you've been with him coming in, and he's a baller. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy you got him. I wish there's a little part of me that wanted him at City, even though there was no rumors or anything like that. But when you told me he got injured or you shared me that information, I didn't laugh at his injury, but I did laugh at you. I was like, oh, George is going to be pissed that his number one goal threat going into the season is gone.
That broke my heart. It really did. like with us talking about it, building the
There's
channel.
Nothing I like more than watching your heart be broken as a Chelsea fan.
Dude, he was looking so good. I can't stand it. Out of control right now.
See, the funny thing is if you listen to the old podcast Talk Man City when George was on, the number one comment he made during that podcast was, "Man, and this is when Chelsea were down on the table. They were not doing well, and they had signed all these players, but he had made this comment as, I just want to be able to, like, go back and forth with my buddies and be like, Chelsea's up there and we're winning, and be able to talk some smack to my friends." And he was doing it all preseason. He's sitting there and he's ready to go. And and Cuckoo, we're this whole new team. We've got a new coach. We're awesome now. And now his star player,
new me.
He just got knocked down a peg. And I never wish I want to make it clear, I never wish injury on any player. His injury's terrible, and I wish him a speedy recovery, because I mean, it is a terrible injury to get hurt in your knee that way. But just to see George knock down a couple of pegs, it's kind of nice.
Some humble pie.
Oh man, and it showed, like, on our offense when he went out the first half. I can't recall what minute he went out in the first half, but it just didn't look the same.
I believe it. He's such an attacking threat. He's dynamic, or not dynamic. Sorry,
he like expands the offense somehow. I don't know what he does, and
he's got that explosive. He's got that ability to take the ball and cut in and make something happen.
Yeah, and that's something.
It's similar to what Foden brings to our team.
Yeah, and that's Foden, dude. I like Foden, dude.
Oh my God, that's actually a really good transition into our Community Shield coverage. Obviously, City played the Community Shield, and we drew 1-1 and lost on penalties to Arsenal. So first off, I will start this and eat my humble pie here. Congratulations to Arsenal. You won the Community Shield. You won it on penalties against us, which we're terrible at. So good job. It really, honestly, has no bearing on the Premier League at all. But to your point of Nkunku, kind of reminds me of Foden in terms of his dynamism and his explosivity. And the reason I say that is the goal that we did score in open play during the Community Shield comes from Foden being absolutely brilliant. He receives the ball from, I think it's from Diaz, or it might have been our keeper. It doesn't matter. But he does this awesome turn, and he turns on it, pushes forward, drives through midfield, and provides this awesome assist over to, I don't know, Kev, or it ends up at Cole Palmer's feet, and it's a beautiful bending goal in. But overall,
it was a nice goal.
It was a great goal.
I like that one. Yeah, it was nice. I was watching that game, going back and forth with that. So it was. Oh,
I have
man,
a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Damn it. I'm sorry, George. So I have a question though about this game, the community shield. Is that what it is?
Mhm.
Yes.
What is that like the community chest in Monopoly or the community center? around the
Not
house,
quite.
you know?
So it used to be called, and I think I mentioned this on the last episode. It used to be called the Charity Shield, and I don't know why it used to be called that. I should probably research that. But basically, what the Community Shield is normally the two teams that play it is the team that wins the Premier League and the team that wins the FA Cup, which is the league cup that you play throughout the league. We'll get into it in this season. We'll get into it a little bit later in future episodes once the competition starts. Brighton will actually be a part of the FA Cup, but essentially it's the last game for English teams of preseason that you can win an early trophy. In the long run, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just a nice little. It's very similar to the trophy that Greg won, or sorry, not Greg won. George won.
I've never
for
won
the
a trophy in
preseason
my
tournament.
life.
You got a participation trophy, I'm sure.
Yeah, man, you get
I
those.
do
those
not.
You get one of those YMCA ones, dude.
Actually, that's a lie. I do. I did win the Pinewood Derby in Boy Scouts, and I also won a chess tournament one
There
time.
you go. Do you really play chess?
I did. Actually, funny story. I'm probably the only person you know that's ever broken their arm at a chess tournament.
Oh God,
That's a true story.
this might be a story for the Bit of Banter section of the podcast.
I would agree.
But anyways, yeah, it's just the winner of the FA Cup and the winner of the Premier League. They play a final preseason match, and you can win this little plate-looking trophy.
Okay.
It really
So
doesn't mean anything on the Premier League season. In actuality, the last team that won the Premier League and also won the Community Shield is City in 1819 or the 1819 season. Every other team they finished in various positions.
1819?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
1819.
That's
You know it.
crazy.
So yeah,
1819.
the only reason Arsenal was in this competition is because we invited them, and the reason is we won the FA Cup and the Premier League last season. In our here's your episode reminder that City won the treble last year. So part of the
case you
treble is the
forgot.
FA Cup. Thank you. Part of the treble is the FA Cup and the Premier League. Therefore, we invited Arsenal to play this game against us, and they happened to beat us. In the long run, everybody beats us in the Community Shield. Everybody beats us in the Community Shield because, well, City suck at the start of the season. It's not that we suck. We just
You
we're
gotta get
never
it together, Terry.
It's a little harsh for you.
back it up, Terry. Back it up.
Back it up.
We're never that team that comes out of the gates flying. I was talking to George about this earlier. Probably, I think it was at work. But remember how I told you like you're gonna be the one that you're gonna have a great start to your season. Although with your star player out, I don't know how good your season's gonna be. We'll see.
Well,
how it
fine,
goes.
dude. 'Cause we're gonna start from the bottom and go.
I still think that you're gonna have a great start to your season, but let's see what happens come the wintertime when things get busy. But then again, you guys don't have like Champions League this year, so maybe you'll do something with that.
We're gonna be okay, dude. We're gonna be
I can see the anger. I can see the hate flow through you.
I got steam coming out, man. I got steam.
It's just his eyes. You see how his eyes were just like, I hate you right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna turn red, dude.
Let the hate flow through you.
But yeah, anyways, like overall, as far as gameplay goes, I don't really have a whole lot of highlights. Foden was impressive when he came on, and Kevin was. It was great to see Kevin De Bruyne back. We were expecting him back, I think in
He's been hurt for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he
He's been
got
out for a
injured
while,
in the
right?
Champions.
Yeah.
Well, he got injured in the Champions League final, which is, I mean, if you're gonna get injured, the last game of the season's kind of a good time, so you have all of summer to get recovered.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we were, as City fans, we were thinking he was going to come back in. When was it? I think it was September or October. So we thought he was going to miss the whole start of the season, but he got some minutes in his legs. It was good to see him. Obviously, it was, I don't know. It's a preseason game for us, and
Yeah,
we're never good at the start of preseason. The biggest thing that stood out is we lacked creativity in the first half. We lacked creativity without Foden and De Bruyne on the field. So that's something to definitely, I guess, address, and something we need to be aware of going into this Premier League season. But at the same time, I'm not really worried because Guardiola always kind of finds a way for us to, I don't know, find that creativity. And look, Arsenal, yes, they got the last minute winner and they beat us on penalties because we suck at pens. Like the minute I saw us go to penalties, I was like, yeah, okay, this game is actually, it wasn't when we went to penalties. It's when I saw Kevin miss his penalty and he hit the crossbar, didn't go in. I was like, this game's lost. Arsenal are winning the Community Shield. But the way that they got to penalties is so unlucky. It's so it's football. I think there were some comments Kevin made in his post-match press conference regarding, he basically said, they asked him, what do you think of the goal? And Kev just straight up said, it's like, it's a bit, but it's football. What are you going to do? You get unlucky. If Akanji puts his leg out a little bit wider or brings it in a little bit closer, either Ortega saves that shot from Trossard or the shot deflects wide and the final whistle goes and I'm here talking to you about it, celebrating. So I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I can pick some standout performances. Foden was awesome. He's creative. Kevin's awesome. He's creative. We need those creative players. We probably need one more creative player to sign this season when they're not on the pitch because, we're obviously missing creativity when we're there. But we've already known that last season. We didn't learn anything new from a City side of things. And at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything on the Premier League.
Has Grealish been playing a lot? And how about Julian Alvarez?
Yeah, he's played all preseason. They put Alvarez in Kevin's role, but Alvarez is never gonna. He's never exactly that reaction right there is exactly what I'm talking about. He's not a creative player. He's a striker that should play alongside Haaland or rotate in and out with Haaland, however you want to look at it.
Yeah,
the interesting thing that the one person that stood out to me in the entire game that we're going to see throughout the season, I'm telling you now, mark this now. If you're listening, remember this timestamp whenever it shows up in the YouTube video or Spotify. Remember this. Kovacic is going to break the lines of so many Premier League teams, and we're going to see him turn on the ball and feed the ball into Haaland at least 10 times a season.
Ooh.
Like his play, George, I don't know what.
I wish you would have done that.
The bargain signing that Kovacic is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Like if you could get a like for like replacement. I know he doesn't have the goals right now, but you never know. You could see him improve. I'm telling you now, Kovacic is going to get 10 assists for Haaland this season. You're going to see him receive the ball in those tight spaces and break defensive lines. I was surprised. The last thing I'll say about the Community Shield is I was very surprised with how Arsenal set up. It was very apparent to me that Arteta had been watching Inter Milan, Manchester United, Atletico Madrid, and all these teams that play super negative football, the most boring fucking way you can play football. And he set his team up to put 10 men behind the ball and counterattack us. And you know what? It worked. It worked because that's how you beat City. Is it the right way to play? That's for you to decide. I'll put it to you guys if you think it's the right way to play football. But they were defensively strong. They played their new signings, and they got a lucky goal in the end. They didn't really come close to scoring against us. They had a lot of wasted opportunities, but I don't know. You get unlucky in football sometimes. We'll see what happens, come November. We'll see where Arsenal are at. We'll see where City are at. We'll have the same conversation on, where the Premier League is at and how much that Community Shield really matters.
Yeah, and I think that game too for the Community Shield, Kai had some open looks and just did not deliver from the Arsenal side.
Shocker.
And, yeah, oh my God, what's his name? Declan Rice. I mean, I wasn't really, it's preseason I get, but he wasn't really that impressive. But yeah, that dinger of the last minute or so, and I was like, oh, I was getting ready. I was about to post it, like I had everything prepared and everything, and whoops. So, yeah,
well, it's like I always say. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Sometimes maybe good and sometimes maybe shit. What a fantastic meme.
Yeah.
But
And the perfect way to describe it.
actually, you know what? You're not wrong, because sometimes football's maybe good, sometimes it's maybe shit.
Yeah. That's
You guys are
exactly
But with
right.
I mean, with that, I guess we can. Now, George? What were your thoughts on the game watching it? Besides, I mean, you're kind of coming from a neutral perspective of. I guess you probably wanted City to win since you don't like Arsenal. But what were your thoughts on the game?
You
What do
know,
you think?
just to
From
clear
my
it up.
perspective, I don't think Arsenal really gave us much of a challenge, and I was very impressed at the level we're at going into next season. But you're a third party, you're a neutral kind of in that game. So what's your perspective on it?
Yeah, so for me, just to say it to everyone listening onto this, I'm honestly, I like Chelsea, but overall, I like watching all the games. And I like watching all the players and seeing new players come in and out, new signings come in and out. This game in particular, like you were saying about Mateo Kovacic and how he's been playing, and I do believe he's going to be one of your standouts this coming up season. Uh, like 10 goals, I can easily see that for sure. But I want to see more Grealish play and all
10
that.
assists, not 10 goals.
Oh, excuse me, 10 assists. I'm sorry.
If he gets 10 goals, great.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but overall, it's Community Shield. It's still technically preseason, but like you said in the beginning, you guys are not the greatest in penalties. I don't know what the penalty shootout was with the 3-1, 4-1. I don't know what the
Honestly, I've
outcome
forgotten
was.
about the game already, so I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean it's in the past now, so get that through. It's also you start talking about the trouble, so that's in the past too. So let's not talk about that either.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to keep reminding you at least every other episode that City won the treble.
No, man, you can't be doing that, man.
Has your team won the treble?
I always say, never forget.
Never forget, never surrender.
Yep.
That's what I always say.
Don't step on snake.
Whoa.
No step on snake.
Yeah, but the game, I mean, it was okay. It is, I think it'd be all right.
Oh, yeah, we'd be fine. We're going to win the Premier League, so it's fine. Which, funny enough, I mean, going over Guardiola's comments following the Guardiola came out firing after the game because they asked him, you guys never really, some stupid journalist, I don't even know who it was. He came out firing following the question of, you guys never really win the Community Shield. And he just quit back. He's like, yeah, do you know why? Because we won 3 Premier Leagues. And we won all 3 Premier Leagues following the times we lost the Community. It means nothing. I think I saw a stat. Thank you. I think I saw a stat on Twitter or something like that where in the last 10 years, the teams that have won the Community Shield, it's like 7th, 8th, 10th, 12th, 1st, 2nd, 8th, relegated. Leicester, here's the stat you need to know. Last season, Leicester won the Community Shield. You know who they beat? They beat Man City. They beat Man City in the Community Shield last year. It was a terrible performance from us. It's because we start the season terribly. We're not a good team at the beginning of the season. We become good in the second half of the season when it's game after game after game. When we're going to get busy, City will be a good team. We're going to go on a 10-game winning streak. It's going to happen.
You are saying
But
a lot of things.
He's got high
telling you.
standards, dude. I like it, man.
Look at the last 3 years and see what we've done. And
See,
I'm
he's
telling
always
you
going.
that-
He's always going to the past, dude. You need to get over that, dude. We're in the current stage now.
That's the only thing I have to go off of because we got a whole future. What have you done in the past, George?
Hey, man. It might be a
Brighton's done more in the past than you have.
Shots fired.
But
And-
so the only stat you need to know about the winners of the Community Shield is Leicester beat Man City last year in the Community Shield. And you know what happened to them last season? They got relegated. So it means jack
Relegated.
shit when it comes to the Premier League season.
Okay, fair enough. I figured so it's kind of like an exhibition game, and
Yeah.
the idea is that the teams are relatively evenly matched, correct, in terms of like the standings.
For the most part, yeah,
Okay,
I would say so.
They don't like invite the local, middle school soccer team to play this
No.
cup.
No, in most instances, most years, it is the winner of the FA Cup, which that is a prestigious, difficult competition to win in its own right, and the winner of the Premier League. The only reason Arsenal is here this year is because we won the FA Cup in the Premier League last year. So yes, they're normally very evenly matched teams, and it's the last game of preseason for English teams, so they're still kind of figuring out their squads.
That makes sense. So basically, what you're saying is, if Manchester City is in the game, they're going to lose that game.
If history is anything to go by, then yes, absolutely.
Fair. Well, you can't win them all, Patrick, and you heard it here first.
I know.
You heard it here.
You heard it here.
Greg, how did you guys do this week? Last week,
the
Rayo game. Rayo,
not-
how do you pronounce that? Rayo.
Rayo Vallecano.
Okay.
Hey, little Spanish lingo there,
A
huh?
little Spanish lingo.
I
What
like
you
that.
don't know is Greg actually speaks Spanish.
Habla español.
Anyway, it wasn't great. I just got to watch the highlights for reasons we'll discuss later in the episode. But the Rayo Vallecano came out the gate basically swinging. They scored a relatively early goal. It was a little bit sloppy, a little bit of luck involved, but they got the freaking goal. So that's what counts. It's like you always say, it only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. It didn't, there weren't like a ton of super big plays, but one thing that I did notice is it seems that Welbeck is going to be a big player this season. He had a couple of close calls. He had a couple of some good standout moments, but overall, I mean, and then he had that one goal in the game against it was in the preseason a couple weeks ago where they just launched it to him and he was already way down the field. He just outran the guy. And it was I think we're going to see a lot from him this year. I think we're going to see a lot from him. The game was a tie. It's like you always say, sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. But it seems like this is kind of an exhibition game, correct? Because it's still
Yeah.
Okay,
This is definitely a preseason game, and I'm curious. I remember us talking in the background prior to us recording. I told you I have no idea where to even watch this show. So
yeah.
I'm curious
too.
though, did they rotate their squads in like the second half? Like did they pull the starting 11? Basically, did Welbeck go off in the second half?
That would be a great question for
If you don't know, it's
Smarter
cool
Man.
because like I don't.
Yeah, I didn't.
I don't have the answer to that question.
But to answer your question, yes, it's an exhibition match, and it's pretty much the same value as the Community Shield, to be honest.
Okay. And so, I mean, you would think they probably weren't trying as hard as they possibly could have been.
Nah.
Maybe. I mean, yes and no.
Or is it like the expectation is every time you're on the pitch, you're going to give it all?
Yes and no, but we all know, these players are human at the same time. So, yeah, that definitely plays a factor. It's like, I'm in a preseason match. I'm probably not going to go as hard. What if I get injured and that, gets me out for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
So
In an
100% that
exhibition.
plays a factor. But
Christopher
if you're like
Nkunku.
bingo, if you're an academy player, like who's the guy you keep mentioning, George?
Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah,
Nicholas.
that's an academy player for George. I think he's part of your youth academy. I don't know. You correct me if I'm wrong, but he's
He's a stud, dude. Yeah.
He's just starting his career, so he'll probably go harder to be like, "Hey, manager, look at me. You want to put me in your Premier League squad and bump me up to the senior team."
Mm-hmm.
So you're
I
right.
always thought
I wouldn't put too much behind the draw. It is what it is. You guys are going to have a great season, honestly.
Does it count towards the season's
No,
like the wins and losses to the okay, so it
Not
doesn't
at
count
all.
for that. All right. I mean, and this wouldn't even really count as would we play this team at all during the regular season?
unless you meet them in Europe, which I don't think they're in the European competition that you're in. No,
Okay.
but it's unlikely. It's it's
that's right. That's right.
it's
He's
a
in the European
game.
League.
Yeah, Brighton has European competition. You know who doesn't on this panel have European competition? Greg, I'll give you one guess. You and I have European competition.
Chelsea.
There you go.
It's Chelsea.
So
You guys just wait, dude.
Governor.
Yeah, just
So there's going to be some episodes on this podcast where Greg and I will just take most of the content because George doesn't really have anything to say about European competition. You okay with that, Greg?
It's gonna be a little bit of an extra cross to bear, and I'm probably gonna insist that some of George's salary be paid to
Come
us.
your way. I think we can work that out in the contracting.
I think that's only fair because
I
he's just
think
not going to
so.
have anything to talk
We're
about.
providing more content, you
Words
see how that
per
works.
minute.
Like
That's how the pay should be.
All right, so that week I'm gonna be off, man. I'm off the books, man. You guys are on your own.
It'll just be Greg and George or Greg and Patrick.
We'll have a still picture of him just smiling
the whole time. It's just like, why is Greg? Why is George?
We need a soundboard, a George soundboard, and then we'll just be like, "Oh, that's crazy."
Oh, you guys are out of control. Oh, you guys are out of control.
That's funny. You get a George soundboard. Honestly, you could definitely replace me with a soundboard with what I know about the game of football. You could. I could just record a couple of funny things every week. And
Height in the box.
Height in the box. That's all it is. That's all you ever need is height in the box. And if you don't have that, what do you have, Patrick? I'll tell you what. You don't have anything. You don't.
Well, you have a Premier League title. We won a Premier League without height in the box.
Yeah, but do you have height in the box?
I have a Premier League title.
I feel
like what matters.
I think the Queen declared that she's in the ground now. So, well, she's still the Queen, and that's the only person we care about here in jolly old England, where we are.
Righto, mate.
Righto. So there wasn't a ton of
I'd imagine there
stuff
wasn't.
to talk about. There really wasn't. Nothing really. Didn't love the performance. Didn't get to really watch it a ton. We're still learning how to watch these games here in America, which would actually be an incredibly helpful thing for anyone who knows how to access these games in whatever manner.
Well,
please send us a DM and with that link, hit that link.
Hit that link.
Because that would be appreciated because I'm still learning. I don't know a damn thing about a damn thing.
Well, luckily, the Premier League's actually starting, so Peacock will have, at least here in America, Peacock will have those games available for you. Or your European competitions, if you do have a link for that, just like Greg was talking about there, drop that in the comments. Let us know. Because I'd like to know where to watch Brighton for a European competition. Got an affinity for them. I think I'm going to steal their coach once Guardiola's gone. Sorry, Greg.
Sorry, Greg.
You can't do it.
We'll see. It's that's a conversation for 2 years from now. But with that, it's a great time Shall we move into the next segment of the show, which is the transfer segment?
The transfer segment. I don't have a lot to say.
Is there
And
any
that's me
major...
out of the way.
Cool. There's no major updates from the Brighton camp other than Caicedo. You and Chelsea are still negotiating
So
Caicedo.
in the bidding war, and then the news that we saw, Patrick, you and I had messaged each other about it. Matoma possibly going to.
Yeah. Oh man, what I would give to see. What would you
give?
What would you give?
What would you give? I'm interested.
What would you do? Oh crap!
For Matoma.
What would you do?
Let's see. We dropped. How much did we drop on Gvardiol? 76 million. Matoma's not worth 76 million, surely. I'd give 60 million. 60 million right now. 60 million pounds. No, flat fee. 60 million flat fee.
I'd take like 10 grand of that.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you 60 million flat fee with 10 million in add-ons for Matoma at Manchester City. 100% right now. That kid is awesome, and I would absolutely take him. And we're linked with him, but I don't know how true it is because none of the major sources that I trust are really like following that story. What I can tell you is two things when it comes to Manchester City wingers. Winger, I barely know her. Last time Greg was on the podcast, in the old Talkman City days, that was a joke he made. But
stealing my stuff.
I'm not creative. I just take stuff that I've heard.
Will be in touch with your people.
Your people. But no, like the two wingers we've been linked with is Elise. I always forget his first name. Michael Elise. Michael Elise over at Crystal Palace, which we talked about this last episode. Honestly, if we got Elise, I would be a happy boy. Turns out, it sounds like he's got like a 35 million pound release clause, or maybe it's 40 million release clause, which is like pittance for us. Like, we're release clause FC. We love dealing with a player with a release clause. So, I mean, if we got Elise, I would absolutely love it. He's dynamic. He knows how to beat a man. I don't know if he could.
He can fight someone out at the pub after the match. He can hold his own.
But I would adore Elise at this club. But the rumor that just came out today is that we've submitted an offer for £70 million for Lucas Paqueta over at West Ham, which I don't know a lot about him, but a lot of the City community that I follow on Twitter, X, is very excited about him.
Shadow banned.
Yeah, well, we're not on Twitter that much, so
yeah.
But I mean, on my end, I'm still a Michael Elise fan. But honestly, Greg, if I could steal Matoma for like 60 million flat fee, 10 million add-ons, that's exactly what I'd pay for him. That kid is so special. I think he's going to be amazing for you this season. Him and Danny Welbeck are going to combine for a lot of goals for you. But if he want to comes over and be in this sky blue color and actually win trophies.
Wow.
Matoma, if you ever hear this, come on. Just come over to blue side of Manchester. I know it's nice on the South Coast.
Also, we have light blue shirts too. What are you talking about? The color's just fine.
You have white and blue.
Whatever. You're there. I can clearly see both white and blue on the shirt that you.
Yeah, but you've got like more of a Chelsea blue. Sorry, you do.
That's
offensive.
I won't have
that. Is not offensive.
We won't.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait until you guys play each other this season. It's going to be so
We'll
fun.
never know who's who with all the blue everywhere. Who's that? Who just scored the goal? We don't know.
We don't know. But other than that, transfer updates for me. Obviously, we signed Gvardiol. I told you he was coming. I told you there was a lot of runaround. I told you it was just delayed because Clubs are negotiating. This is jazz hands, Patrick. Woo! Clubs are negotiating in the background, but we got him. He's here, and honestly, I think he's going to be a great signing. I think he's going to be that signing that Laporte could have been. And I'm really in the minority here, and I'm going to toss a real hand grenade into the city community, but I do not rate Laporte. I can't wait to sell him. I think he's got too many mistakes in him. But that being said, Vardiol can come in, and you remember how I was talking about we needed creativity in the Community Shield game? We're really lacking that when it comes to Kev and Foden not being on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watched, to be fair, it's a compilation video, and, that always makes a player look great in the background. But I watched a compilation video of Vardiol playing for Leipzig, and man, the way that guy can play passes through the lines, he's going to come in such handy when we have a team playing 10 men behind the ball, distributing the ball out from the back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited for it to come in. Some of the comments he made before he comes in, or as he came in his interview coming into the club, he said everyone knows about this club and everyone wants to be a part of this club. So once you have the opportunity, I believe that everyone is going to take it. So yeah, it was my decision. Speaking about coming to the club, another interesting thing in some of his interview questions, he said, but also I spoke with Kovacic about the team and everything, and he said that he really likes it and that for sure we're going to enjoy it here. So I found it super interesting. He wants to be here. There was rumors about him having his bag packed, like City was the place he wanted to go. And I mean, who wouldn't want to come to City right now? To be honest, we just won the treble. We are Premier League champions for the last 3 years, and we've got the best coach in the world. We've got Guardiola. We got Erling Haaland. What are you talking about? We don't have height in the box.
He's not in the box.
6'4".
Isn't that in the
yes,
box?
He is. Yes,
is he in the box?
He's a striker.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Do you know what the box is, Patrick? Or have you been lying to me this whole time about the box?
Why don't you tell me what the box is, Greg?
Okay. Well, sir, I'll tell you.
Mister,
exactly
I just went on a date. You must know what the box is.
Oh.
Oh.
That the box is okay.
Gather your thoughts.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Okay, so I don't know what the box is.
Clearly.
Unbelievable, Greg. I had full faith on you, man. I was waiting for it.
I didn't expect to be called out like that.
Patrick, you gotta give him a warning, man.
That's like my whole thing. That's the only thing about football that I know. It turns out after all this
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Is the height? What is it?
I don't know.
Sometimes.
But
what I don't know about it is it need. What I do know is it needs to be there, and you need more of it.
Absolutely. And Vardiol actually does provide some height in the box. I don't know his height currently, but he'll hopefully be good on corners. He scored a corner on us last season in the Champions League, so maybe he can do the same thing in the Premier League and other competitions that we're going to be in.
It's funny when they did announce him to the team, to the City. There was a clip on social media. I don't know if it was Twitter, if it was TikTok or Instagram, but you see Haaland and you see, I want to say De Bruyne, and they're walking past him, and they look at him and they just say,
"Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about."
Finally,
it's about time you signed.
Well, it's about time. That's what it was.
So you know what's funny about that? Number one, Kev is the best player in the Premier League ever. He's just an amazing dude. That is not actually Vardiol. That is Man City's esports ambassador. His name is FG, or that's his like YouTube name or something like.
Yeah, it's just like a little clip,
whatever. But yeah, he looks like Vardiol, and in the announcement video, they put them side by side, and they look very similar. So yeah, it was just Kev being funny.
Oh, it was funny. I was like, I had to rewatch it. Like, there's no way I did.
Yeah.
But anyways, I thought that was pretty funny.
No,
So
absolutely. I remember seeing that. And go ahead.
yeah, it was pretty funny. But if I could transition on to the Chelsea side with the transfers and going on.
You guys aren't doing anything. Relax. This is my time.
Calm down, dude. Pump the brakes.
Didn't you do enough business last transfer window when you spent 500 billion and didn't win anything?
Well, you still bringing up old stuff, huh? Unbelievable, dude. You're out of control. You need to pump the brakes, dude. But yeah, if I can, we did sign a 7-year deal to Greg's. I guess you could say his team, but Robert Sanchez, our goalie, it was going to have some competition for Kepa. So we'll see how it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna duke it out, and he can easily be number one. I believe.
You think so?
I think so. But just I don't know. It's gonna be interesting of how it was a very unique signing compared to the other gentleman that we had just had from one of the MLS. He just played on Fulham. I'm kind of shooting blanks, dude. I can't remember his name, but and now this signing about with Sanchez, they're gonna be duking it out, man. And I'm looking forward to see maybe they can go back and forth with it. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna happen. But yeah, we signed him for 7 years, 25 mil. So he's gonna be here for a minute. Sorry, Greg. So
25 sitting on 25 mil.
Yes, sir. And then the latest one we got, just the Moses Caicedo stuff going on with Chelsea and Brighton going on with that. So it's still in the talks. I know it kind of stopped for a minute, but now it's in talks again, possibly because of Nkoku's injury, but he's a defense, so I don't know how.
Yeah, he's defense. Wasn't there some
we'll
rumor that came? Sorry, wasn't
Yeah,
there some?
Go ahead, Patrick.
Wasn't there a rumor that came out that there's some unknown club in like enter the race for Caicedo? It was like an unknown English club.
I don't know, dude. I haven't looked at it, but I just saw recently. I know they talked about Moses in the beginning of the week. So yesterday or late Sunday evening, they were talking about it. So, but yeah, I can't recall the other team. But I know Chelsea's gonna be more in talks with it now. So again, it's just rumors now. And until I see the official done deal, then it'll be.
You're like me with that.
Yeah. So right now it's just with that. So I don't know, man. They need to sign right now. They need a striker for sure because we're freaking down from the
How
cookie.
about you develop your already massive squad to score goals? Can Pochettino do that?
Couldn't do that. Nah. Why would you do that?
You know, Greg, I think Deservia could do that if he was at Chelsea. Your coach.
He's a good guy. I love watching him talk to the press.
I mean, he turned Danny Welbeck into your best player. So
yeah,
Danny Welbeck was crap at Arsenal.
Sometimes it may be good. Sometimes it may be shit.
Words to live by, honestly. Honestly, words to live by. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the words I live by every day.
No, I think you'll get Caicedo, George.
Think so?
It's gonna be a great signing. Unless Brighton do their thing and they hold out, which they're pretty good about holding out for the amount that they want. They did the same thing with Cucurella.
The first offer we sent them, I can't remember how much it was, but they declined it. And then they were in talks about doing it again.
Of course, this is standard negotiation stuff.
Yeah, and then after that, they kind of just stopped. And I believe that's when we signed Nicholas Nkoku with his 65 mil, give or take. I can't remember how much it was, but that's when they signed him because the offer declined from Brighton with Caicedo. So, I don't know. Well, if they do sign him, that'd be great. If not, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Yeah, man. Other than that, that's all I got for the transfers for on the Chelsea side.
Does that
Yeah, I
mean
don't.
it's my turn?
It is.
Uh-oh.
The only thing I have remaining is, obviously Kyle Walker and Silver looking like they're going to extend its city, which I'll just be real quick. But yeah, I think it's great news. It's a lot of experience for the team, and we're going to need that going forward. Kyle Walker especially. Silva looks like he's going to be here to run out his contract. If you follow the podcast Twitter at Bit of Banter Pod, you'll see that I posted about that. It looks like he's going to run out his contract in 2025. And then, yeah, I think that experience is going to be necessary as we transition the team with these new young players. But with that, Greg, we are introducing a new segment on the podcast. Obviously, we're called Just a Bit of Banter, so we wanted to include a bit of banter into the podcast, and Greg has graciously decided to lead the segment. So every week he's going to come up with a random topic for us, and we're going to go back and forth about it. So what topic do you have, or rant, or random musings do you bring this week to us? The floor
Guys,
is
I've
yours.
been so excited to talk about this. We had a sit down meeting with all of our lawyers and everything, and my counsel brought up the fact that there was not enough banter in the banter. So we stipulated and arbitrated, and there were some objections and some sustains. And here we are. Now I get to talk about random shit. And it's something that I've been so excited to talk about, guys. I went to Los Angeles to see the Eras Tour.
Tay.
It was the
Tay-Tay?
greatest night ever. I had a fantastic weekend. I really did. But it started off on Thursday. I took the time off of work. My sister and her best friend and I drove down from Tucson to California. We left at about 5:00 in the morning, and we stopped at McDonald's. And my sister's just, she's a character. She is the type of person that even when she's not driving, she has to be the one that orders from the drive-through menu. So we stopped at the McDonald's to get some breakfast and coffees and all that, and she's over here leaning over my her friend's seat, trying to lean her head out the window so that the people in the place can make sure that the egg's on there and nothing else. And she's quite a character. But we had a great trip out there. We stayed in the Hood in Inglewood, which was close to the stadium. It was at SoFi Stadium, which is in Inglewood. It was definitely the Hood, though. We, it certainly was that.
You call
we
it
get to the
Inglewood.
show. We get to the concert, and I had taken an Uber because I didn't want to go get a blowout. I didn't really need it. So they went to go get blowouts on their hair, and I got ready at the house and hung out.
You
And
sure
then
you
I
didn't
Ubered.
need a blowout?
I didn't. My hair was looking fresh. I don't need a blowout. These curls here, I got my Dyson Airwrap stylers. Boom, man, that's on point. And we get there, so we're in the parking lot. We're getting ready, and by getting ready, I'm sitting there, waiting for them to put on all their sparkles and all of their glitter and everything.
Accoutrement.
And I put accoutrement. I put purple in my hair. I'm not going to be ashamed to admit that. I would do it again.
Well, you are
and
Elton John incarnate, so
I wish only I would deserve that. And not to knock Elton John, because he's by far and away one of the best artists ever to grace the stage. But I saw both of them recently, and it's just Taylor just put on a better show. The opening bands were incredible. Haim, I believe, is the band, and some girl named Gracie Abrams, who I think she had a couple of songs, but she
I
was
know
very
Gracie
talented.
Abrams. Actually, I know Gracie
Fantastic singer.
Abrams. She did a lot of sad music.
Yeah, she was really talented. And Haim, there's like this girl, it's like three girls, they're like sisters from Southern California, and they just freaking threw it down, man. And then Taylor came on. Oh my God. It was the craziest experience ever. And my favorite part about it was the bracelets. So some people may know about this, but everyone was given a bracelet when they in our case, they put it in the cup holders at our seats, and we all got these bracelets. And upon talk, I had no idea how this worked. I was literally in amazement, like freaking, you like, did the quarter trick behind your ear or some crazy thing. So what they were able to do with these bracelets is they had the full color spectrum, and they could make them do whatever they wanted on command. And so apparently what they did is they shot the beams of the signal out to them, and then they could make them all light up at once. They could make them pulse with the beat. They could make some do some colors, some do other colors, and it's just so beautiful. Everybody was just singing all the songs. I got to hear the one that I wanted to hear. My favorite song by Taylor Swift is "You Belong with Me," and I was screaming it like a banshee, and probably ruined it for everyone standing around me. But I don't give a shit, because I was there to see Taylor Swift, and everybody else was. And I will tell you this, the loneliest place in the entire world is the men's restroom at a Taylor Swift concert. They not only that, but there was only one that I was able to find on our level, because we had the nosebleed seats. We like cracked nose, gushing blood. Like, we might as well have been at the next stadium, frankly, in terms of how far away we were, but we were there. And there was only one bathroom. It was a long, long walk away. It seems like they converted the men's restrooms into more women's restrooms so that they could keep up with all of the amount of using of the restroom that needed to be done, because I was outnumbered 5 or 6 to 1 easily in terms of male to female. And you know what? That's okay with me. It was a fantastic night. I got to hang out with my sisters. It's not something we really do too often anymore now, because we're all old and we got lives of our own. And so it was kind of like the last little hurrah for all of us. And I don't know if they really saw it that way, but that's how I saw it, because to be honest with you, traveling with them is incredibly difficult and stressful, and not something that I enjoy doing in my adulthood, but that's okay. I love them very much. And we had the best night ever. Fantastic. It's incredible. Can't say enough good things about it. She put on a 3.5-hour show. She costume changes, all of it. It was great. It was incredible. I had so much fun.
That's good, dude.
It's awesome, man.
That's good. Glad you had a good time, man.
Yeah, as much as I can't get behind the ticket prices that she charges for her shows, I've seen videos from you on your socials, and my cousin, shout out to Katie if you ever watch this.
Katie.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw out her last name.
I'm not saying that. Keep going.
Yeah, shout out to Katie.
Shout out to Katie.
If you ever watch this, I think she went to her show as well. And honestly, like, her stage design's awesome. And even though you were in the nosebleeds, I know she has like a full LED catwalk that she can go out on, and a bunch of LED screens behind her and stuff. So they really do a lot to, I guess, accommodate people who can't afford
great seats.
tickets.
Everybody.
So the reason, to your point with your bracelets and the LEDs that are in the bracelet and the signals to change all the color, like, that's all coordinated in the background to provide a show for people who can't, afford the pit tickets. I guess, I don't know. I guess for me, my thing is I just can't get behind the fact that she charges so much money to see her in the flesh. I get that her show's 3 hours.
All her fault?
No, it's not. You're 100%. It's not. It's part of it is Ticketmaster. You're 100% correct in that, and I'll give you that.
The most evil corporation in the entire world.
I will 100% grant you it is not entirely her fault. I just can't support that from my end. But that being said, I'm always in favor of, going out with your family and enjoying awesome experiences with your siblings and doing all of that. So I'm super happy for you. Super happy you got to experience it, and super glad you got to share that with us on the show.
If anyone wants to talk to me about the Taylor Swift Eras Tour show, the first night in Los Angeles, slide in those DMs. because I got nothing. But I got all
At-
the time of the world.
At Greg Caith.
Yeah. Slide.
Slide
'Cause I
into
got
those
you.
DMs.
'Cause I
Your
got all
boy is
sorts of
lonely.
things to say. Your boy. Yep. Yep. That's really all I had, honestly. That's kind of the highlight of my life. I noticed a couple of things about myself when I was there. I realized that I was nowhere near the caliber of fan that I needed to be to deserve to be there. Because
Oh,
there
you
were
see
so
like
many
super
people.
fans there, don't you?
They were
Like
wild.
there's like a level of fandom that's actually funny you say that because I even see that sometimes in like the city fan community. I'm like,
Mhm.
there's a level of fandom that I'm like, I'm not there. And I
Mhm.
love city. Like if you look around this room that I have, like I got a De Bruyne poster or
Mhm.
jersey
All of it.
on this wall. My lovely girlfriend got me this treble winners commemorative thing
There you go.
right
Yeah.
here.
That's the only-
Hold on.
All right.
That's the only room in Patrick's house that isn't covered by Manchester City accoutrement.
Isn't covered by
He
what?
has accoutrement.
Yeah, she got me this.
Wow. We can see the tabs with the hub up in the background, Patrick. I'm just gonna tell you.
Aw.
So,
You
but like honestly,
got some
even
written on that one.
but all that being said, like there are fans out there of this club that I'm like, you're too extreme for me. Like I'm not that hardcore, and most of
Can't
them
do
live
it.
on Twitter.
You mean X?
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, not his
We're gonna
ex.
get shadow
You're talking
banned.
about, yeah, you can't be doing that, man.
Yeah. Got to put it back. Got to make sure.
You gotta put a ring on it now, Patrick. Don't repeat that.
You got to hang it. You got to hang it proudly. I think he can hear us when he doesn't have.
No, I don't think you could.
No, I can't actually.
Oh, okay. Well, that's for the best.
That's for the best.
Probably
Dude.
better.
George called you
I'll
some pretty
listen.
colorful.
Honestly, I'll listen back to this and I'll. George is just mad he's
Might
not
be
going to
the
win
end of the
anything.
podcast.
Honestly, Greg, you're going to win more this year than George wins. So, he's just mad about that.
Man, you better stop it, dude. Stop.
I take every opportunity to
those
like
yams down.
take a crap on George. So,
Also, last thing about Taylor Swift, fun fact about Taylor Swift, she really likes moss. There was moss all over town.
Moss?
It was just everywhere. She had a piano made of moss.
really,
She had a whole house made of moss. Oh yeah.
what songs
up.
did she play?
Oh, I see. Now this is where I'm going to alienate because I don't know. I know the ones that I knew, and she played a lot of the whole
reason
discography.
I mean, honestly, her best album is 1989. Sue me, Taylor Swift fans, but her best album is her greatest album ever.
That's fair.
Like
That's a fair
she'll never
point.
do better than that. It's so.
I disagree with you.
Like
But
from a
that's
production
to each their
standpoint,
own.
it's absolutely incredible. But
Yeah.
the reason I ask about the Moss thing is like I know she had those folklore album is folklore
That
and
was
is it
that was it.
folklore and Ivy?
I
Or
think
is
it was
Ivy
just
a
called
song?
folklore. We really should be careful because people will come for us. Taylor Swift
Oh,
fans.
I don't care.
Canceled.
That's not our demographic, so I don't give a.
No one will
I don't
ever.
care.
I'm probably the only person listening to this podcast right now that likes Taylor Swift.
No, I told you I like 1989, and I actually like a lot of her songs off of folklore as well. I think that's.
I've actually gone to 3 of her concerts. Christina likes to, except for this year, we didn't go because the ticket prices were out of control. And
Couldn't get them. We got them by the grace of God.
And I told Christina, like, I'll go for support, but this is more her thing, and I'll just go for support. And you know, she tags along with my concerts too, and so it's only fair to, you know, do the same, right? And I know, and I knew about the bracelet thing, which is pretty cool that she did that again. And but man, 3 hours. And I want to say she did do 3 hours. So that's like what, 4 albums?
All of her albums. She played songs from every single one.
If you think about it too, then you got your money's worth. Then you know what I mean?
Oh, I got my money's worth. I didn't pay 1 cent for the tickets.
Yeah.
My sister got them for me for Christmas, So
Yeah, he got, as far as I'm aware, you got him like day of. So
so we paid the face value of them, which was about $130.
see, that's
Oh,
reasonable for 3 hours.
That's
Totally fine. I'm on board with that. That's fine.
And honestly,
$130
ground
for
seats
3
for
hours of
500 or
music.
600,
Okay,
even
fine.
1,000, honestly, for ground
Greg, how'd you
seats
get
for
that?
that show in Los Angeles, I think that would have been reasonable. But the problem is people were getting crazy with it because everybody wanted to go to the show. I saw day of show tickets going for like 20 grand.
Yeah, that's
I
ridiculous.
saw a video
That's
of
not
100
right.
grand.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That is not right. And again, that's not Taylor's fault.
No.
It's a ticket price and Ticketmaster and scalper's fault. So totally understand that. But if you paid 130 for 3 hours, yeah, that's totally reasonable. But it's Folklore and Evermore. And those
Evermore.
albums are very foresty, so I can see why she has like a moss set up for that.
Yep. It was very mossy. I was wondering what that moss would taste like.
Dirt.
Some moss real quick. Yeah, probably dirt. Maybe plastic because it's probably not real moss.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, I don't know. She might have gotten real moss for every single night. God bless her.
know.
She puts on a show.
You definitely get money's worth for sure.
Yeah, no, we got our money's worth.
Especially for 130 buckies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that's reasonable for sure.
Yeah.
I want to know
That's reasonable for sure.
It was incredible. I honestly I don't even need to go to any more concerts for the rest of my life. And I'm comfortable saying that because she put on that good of a show.
Yeah, you do.
I will.
You need to come to a hardcore show with me at least once.
I need a helmet.
No, you don't. I don't get in the pit, so don't worry. Yeah, I don't get into the pit, so don't worry.
Okay, because I'm not getting in the pit. I've been to hardcore shows. You act like I'm I've only ever been to like the Wiggles and like
no,
Taylor Swift.
I just don't know what you've been to, bro.
I've been to all sorts of stuff.
Hey, dude, I'll go to the pit with you, dude.
Best. Hardcore.
I will not. I can't. I have a brain injury. I will die. I'll just one hit.
Patrick.
Dead. Patrick, go on.
All right, next time we see one, and my brother doesn't buy tickets already, then we'll go.
Sounds good.
But you should definitely come to Ghost Inside and Under Oath, George. It's at the marquee, bro. Come on.
I'd love to go see you Under Oath.
Let's go.
I'm down for sure.
But, well, Greg, I appreciate your banter subject. I look forward to your next topic that you bring in the next episode.
Thank you.
But with that, I think we should wrap up this episode, boys. What do you think?
I think so. I don't have anything more to say. I've already I'm tailored out.
Oh, we forgot one thing. We got predictions before we wrap up the episode.
Yeah, dude, come on, man. We need to get the program, dude. It's showtime, dude. It's showtime this week.
George, I'm going to come to you because you have the worst game to actually technically I have the worst game to start with because it's on a damn Friday. So that's a terrible way to start. We kick off the Premier League.
Why is that a worst game on a Friday?
Because the first game of the Premier League on a Friday, it's just like it's got bad juju written all over it.
Oh, okay.
But I think, George, you have the hardest game going into the opening game of the season. Chelsea and Liverpool kick off Sunday at 8:30. Let's start there. Somebody write this down. What are your predictions?
Well, Chelsea is going to win, first off. Let's put it that way.
I love that you got to back your team.
I have to, dude. I have to. And they're going to do this for Nkoku of his absence moving forward for the next 3-4 months, these victories in honor of Nkoku. So they will get this dub. They will get this dub. And I'm going to say 1-0.
1-0 Chelsea. Even with the new extra time rule.
1-0 Chelsea.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1?
Yep.
Dude, you 2-1.
I will go 1-1.
Draw.
Okay. Draw.
I'm going to go draw.
Gang.
Gang.
All right. Coming to me, we have Burnley City. Now, Burnley have been in preseason. All right. Burnley have been in preseason since pretty much June. So I don't think it's going to be, and Vincent Kompany's there. My boy, Vincent Kompany, ex-City captain. Probably going to manage City one day, but done wonders with Burnley. Couldn't really get past us in the FA Cup last year. I'm gonna go. We'll go 3-1. 3-2 City. 3-2 City.
3-2 City, huh? Greg, you want to get this one? Let me get it.
I will say 2-1 City.
Okay.
2-1 City.
Jorge.
3-1 City.
Okay. All right, we're coming over to Greg next. Greg, you've got an awesome opening game
Who's this?
for the
You got-
Premier League.
Ooh,
Brighton
got-
versus Luton.
Luton Town.
Luton Town. Luton Town.
I'm just gonna go out with a bang here. I'm gonna start. You're gonna win 3-0. 3-0.
3-0. Okay, 3-0.
Goose eggs.
3-win. 3-0. Brighton.
Okay. I like that. I hope you're right. George, what
Danny
you got?
Welbeck to score 2.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Brighton.
Brighton, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 2-1 Brighton. I think that Luton will get a
You think they got it in them?
the goal.
That's not fair. It's their first Premier League game. They might be upward excited. I could see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's good. That's very interesting.
Cool.
I'm really looking
All
forward
right,
to the Luton Town.
Luton Town.
Whatever your predictions are, drop them in the comments below or reach out to us on our socials, Instagram and X, Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter. Screw it. It's Twitter. Both the tags on there are at Bit of Banter Pod. Same thing for the YouTube. Look us up, just a Bit of Banter Pod. You can find us there. If you want to reach out to the podcast, Twitter, Instagram is the best way to do it. You want to be on the show, email us just a bit of banterpod@gmail.com. All those should show up, I don't know, somewhere around
Like and
here.
subscribe.
Please like and subscribe. Share this with your friends.
Ring
Share
that
this
bell.
around. Ring that bell. And as always, thank you for listening.
Thank you
to
so
the
much for
show,
listening to us.
Hey, thanks everyone.
even though we
Look at-
BS most of the time.
Most of the time. I love Taylor Swift.
Hey man, the season has come.
Bro, the season has come. The Premier League is back.
It's
We are
back
going to
in
be back.
business.
We are going to be back next week talking about the first week of the Premier League. I'm so excited.
And
Summer
hopefully
is
we get all
done.
dubs. Hopefully we get some
Football is
dubs.
back. Let's all talk about hopefully wins, except for George. Next episode. We will see you in the next one. Later, everybody.
All right, later guys. Peace.
Bye.